And what did we discover that was called? Some
Victor
German.
Waffen.
Yeah, it was a German phrase, but basically Volkswagen and Audi. And to me, that looks identical.
That right there is an airbag, a standard, order it online, fits your everyday hatchback airbag. And that car it just came out of, that is a £2 million Bugatti Chiron. Now I know what you're thinking, there is no way. There is absolutely no way Bugatti, one of the most exclusive car manufacturers on the planet, put a budget family car part inside their flagship hypercar. I thought the same thing. So let me walk you through exactly what happened, the part number that started it all, and whether this changes how you see a £2 million car forever. So to understand why this even matters, I need to take you back to how this whole situation started. Mat Armstrong bought a crashed Bugatti Chiron at auction, a car that had been written off after a serious accident, structurally damaged, airbags all deployed, and Bugatti themselves refused to sell him the parts he needed to fix it.
Well, we just don't think it's safe, and that's why we can't support it.
No parts, no support, no help from the manufacturer of arguably the most complex road car ever built. So what do? You figure it out yourself. And that's exactly what Mat did, sourcing parts, fabricating chassis sections from scratch, and rebuilding things that most people in the world have never even seen the inside of. But here's where things got genuinely interesting. When you have to source parts yourself, you start cross-referencing part numbers, and one number in particular stopped Mat dead in his tracks. When the airbags were removed from the crashed Chiron, Mat noticed something printed on the back, and instead of a Bugatti part number, what he found was this.
The airbag that we took out of this was this. Clearly marked on the back, Volkswagen and Audi basically.
Now at this point, Mat thought, hang on, let me look this up properly. The part number stamped on the back of the Bugatti airbag was 8V8804H, so he typed that in. And it cross-referenced directly to an Audi A3 passenger airbag. An Audi A3. Not a Lamborghini, not a Bentley, an Audi A3. You know the car a driving instructor uses, the car your neighbor bought on finance. That Audi A3. At this point, I genuinely thought, okay, could be a coincidence. Part numbers share digits all the time. Maybe it just partially matches or something. So what did Mat do next? He ordered one. He literally went online, ordered an Audi A3 airbag, and waited for it to arrive. And when it did...
And this is what arrived. And to me, that looks identical. Because check out the part number, ended in 204, and the same on the Audi A3 airbag, ended in 204.
Same ending, same shape, same size. And then he did the one thing that would settle it once and for all.
But the best way to find out now is to see whether it fits in place. And it does. The Audi A3 airbag works in a Bugatti.
Okay, so here's the thing. My first reaction to this was, honestly, are we being dramatic? Like, of course, car manufacturers share parts. That's how the industry works. Volkswagen Group owns Bugatti, Audi, Porsche, Lamborghini, Bentley. They share platforms. They share engines in some cases. They share little bits and pieces across the group. So is it really that shocking that an airbag casing might be shared between models? And then I thought about it a bit more. And actually, yeah, it kind of is. Because here's the difference. When Lamborghini shares infotainment buttons with Audi, nobody's pretending otherwise. Everyone knows the Huracan has Audi switches. But when you pay £2 million, and I mean £2 million, not $2 million, £2 million sterling for the rarest hypercar in the world, you're not buying a car built from Audi A3 parts. Or at least that's what you think you're buying. Now Mat makes a really fair point in his video, and I actually think he's right about this part. He said,
Bugatti being part of the Volkswagen Audi group, they've already done the developing, they've already done the testing. This company has already made this airbag, and Volkswagen and Bugatti is part of the Volkswagen Group. Why would they not make a dashboard work with an Audi A3 airbag when it already exists?
And honestly, he's not wrong. From a pure engineering standpoint, if a component is tested, certified, and already exists within your corporate group, why spend millions developing a bespoke version just because the badge on the front of the car is more expensive? That's not laziness. That's actually smart engineering. But here's my issue. It's not really about the engineering. It's about the story Bugatti sells. When you buy a Bugatti, You're buying the idea that every single detail has been obsessed over, that nothing was done the easy way, that this machine is the result of the absolute best of everything with no compromise anywhere. Finding out that the airbag, the thing designed to save your life, is shared with a family hatchback, that dents that story. Just a little bit. Now here's what's actually really useful about this discovery, and I think Matt kind of glossed over this part. This is why the rebuild was even possible. Think about it. Bugatti refused to sell Matt parts. They said they couldn't support the repair. If every single component in that car was genuinely bespoke and only available through official Bugatti channels, that car would have been dead. Undrivable, a very expensive piece of art that lives in a workshop forever. But because certain components are shared with mainstream Volkswagen Group cars, you can actually source them. You can fix them. The airbag team in the UK were able to source an Audi A3 airbag, and it worked.
Then we've just got to clip in the two electrical connections into the new Audi A3 airbag.
So on one hand, yes, it's a bit eyebrow-raising that a £2 million car shares a safety component with a family hatchback. On the other hand, that exact fact is the reason this car might actually drive again. It's funny, isn't it? The thing that undermines the Bugatti's exclusivity is also the thing that saves it. And just when you think the shared parts story ends with the Audi A3 airbag, there's one more twist. The steering wheel airbag. Matt pulled the airbag out of the steering wheel cover, found a part number on it, and looked it up.
Right, and that part number, the only thing we could see it correlate to was the same part number, which was here, 1050652. And that is the same on here, 1050652. We're just assuming now, I've never done this before, but I'm assuming that we can just remove this and put it into there.
Want to know what it matched? An Aston Martin. So now we have a Bugatti Chiron that, as far as the airbag situation goes, shares components with an Audi A3 and an Aston Martin. I am not making this up. The part numbers are on camera. You can look this up yourself. And you know what? It worked. They transferred the airbag mechanism across and it fitted. Which means if you are ever unfortunate enough to need airbag parts for a Bugatti Chiron, there are options out there that don't involve calling Bugatti and getting told no. Okay, so where does that leave the actual build? Because beyond the airbag discovery, there's a ton happening on this car. The interior is almost completely in, and honestly, the color scheme that was chosen is genuinely wild. Purple and white. Half and half. When Matt first described it, I thought that sounds like a nightmare, and then I saw it and...
Oh, the steering wheel looks sick. Oh my days.
Wow.
And here it is, a one-of-a-kind Bugatti Chiron interior. When Alex showed me the design of this, I wasn't too sure. But now that I've seen it in person, this is definitely going to stand out and be so unique.
Yeah, it actually looks unreal in person. One of those things where photos don't do it justice, you need to see the whole thing together. But it's not all good news. The radiators, which had to be fabricated from scratch using Honda Civic cores, because Bugatti wouldn't supply originals, hit a snag.
We come so close.
A leak, right at the pressure test stage, which means the big question, can this car actually run to temperature, is still unanswered. And that is genuinely the most stressful cliffhanger I've seen on a build video in a long time, because they have come so far on this thing. The chassis repair alone was insane, fabricating an aluminium chassis leg from scratch, matching the original grade of aluminium, getting the measurements right without even having the car in front of them half the time. Bob the fabricator on this project deserves his own channel. Actually, Matt links it in the description. Go watch it. So, a £2 million Bugatti Chiron, Audi A3 airbag, Aston Martin steering wheel airbag, Honda Civic radiator cores. Is Bugatti cheap? No, I actually don't think that's the right word for it. The engineering that goes into a Chiron is genuinely extraordinary. I think what this tells us is more interesting than that. It tells us that even at the absolute top of the automotive world, the supply chains are more connected and more interdependent than the marketing would ever have you believe. And that in some cases like this rebuild, that's actually a really good thing. Because that car is getting closer to the road. One fixed radiator away, in fact. Now I want to know what you think. Does finding out that a Bugatti shares airbag components with an Audi A3 change how you see the car? Does it make it less special? Or do you think smart engineering is smart engineering, doesn't matter what badge is on the front? Drop it in the comments. I read every single one. And if you want to see the full Mat Armstrong series on this build, I genuinely recommend it. Link is down below. The level of problem solving on that project is something else. Subscribe if you're new. I'll see you in the next one.